Let's look at the if statement in C#. If we are building a solution that has a logic block that looks like the following. So we're going to come down, we're going to ask some question, is some condition true? And if that condition is true, we're going to do a little bit of extra work and then go about our business. If the condition is false, well, we just keep going on with our code. So this is a very common logic block found in a lot of problems where under a certain condition being true, we're going to do extra work. This logic block can be implemented in C# using an if statement. And here is the syntax for creating an if statement in C#. First, we start with the keyword if, followed by a pair of parentheses that contains, and the parentheses contain a conditional expression. This conditional expression will evaluate to either true or false. Attached to the if statement, this if header, is a code block. So we have a pair of curly brackets defining a code block, and inside the code block we have all of the statements that implement some bit of work. Now the way this logic block works in C# is, if this conditional expression evaluates to true, then we execute all of the statements in the code block, the attached code block. If this conditional expression evaluates to false, we skip the code block, and it's that simple. Now, common mistakes with the if syntax that I have seen is that sometimes people will put a semicolon right here at the end of the if conditional expression block. Don't do that. What happens if you put a semicolon here, you basically separate this code block from the conditional expression. Let's look at some logic examples that could be implemented using an if statement. So our first example here says, if an entered password is invalid, print to the console an invalid message. So here we see under some condition, we're going to do some work. So this work is only going to be done under this condition. This can be implemented with an if statement. Our next example, if the number of nights is greater than 4, apply a 10% discount to a reservation. Again, under some condition being true, we're going to do an extra bit of work. Let's look at our third example. If an invalid integer value is entered, output to the console an error occurred. Again, here we have a condition, and under that condition being true, we're going to do some work. And finally, if a number is greater than or equal to 0, add that number to a total. We're only going to do this bit of work under some condition being true. So I hope you kind of see the pattern here. So all of these could be implemented with an if statement. Now let's do a very quick example in code here. So here I have an example that says, prompt the user to enter in a secret code word. If the code word is kitten123, output to the console that the user won a prize. So when we are thinking about this logic block, we see that under some condition, we want to do some bit of work. So we should be able to implement this using an if statement. But let's start with our prompt. So a prompt is a write followed by a read. So I'm going to create a prompt here, console.write, enter a secret code word, and then we're going to read in the results. So I'm going to say string code is equal to console.readline. So I don't know if the secret word is going to be correct or not, but we can build the conditional logic to test for it. So here comes our if statement. I'm going to say if the code word that we read in is equal to the string kitten123, then I'm attaching my code block. If this expression evaluates to true, any statements inside the code block will be executed. Well, if this expression is true, I want to output to the console that the user won a prize. So let's do that. Console.writeLine, you are a prize winner. Now, if this code word does not equal to kitten123, or if this expression is false, what we should do is skip the entire code block and just go to the end of our program. So let's test this out. So here we have our prompt for the secret code word. This time I'm just going to type kitten. Kitten did not equal to kitten123. These two strings are not equivalent. Therefore, we skipped printing out that they were a prize winner, and we just went straight to the exit. Let's do another example, or another test here. Now I'm going to enter kitten123. And now we see that the input is equivalent to our test case here. This expression evaluates to true, so we are printing this extra line. So the if statement is a convenient way for doing a little bit of extra work under a condition being true.